Trap, trap, trap. Why a certain man can't leave the trap. They never gave themselves any options because they were lazy and they wanted to live the fast life. You know, there's some man out here, they believe they can never leave the trap. And I understand why. I'm not justifying it. I'm not condoning selling drugs. But I understand why they feel like they can never leave the trap. Think about it this way. You got a young boy on the street, I don't know, 16, 17 or whatever. He just about made it through secondary school. Done one look or two idiot course at college, never completed that. And he's dropped out. So he ain't going to uni. He decides to start selling drugs or whatever, innit? Making a little bit of money or whatever, innit? Nothing to shout out about. But he might hit 19, 20 and he's making £1,000 a day. Believe you me, now I'm not saying anyone start selling drugs or nothing like that, because you will end up in prison, dead, or on drugs, or with a shit job. But there are people, 18, 19, 20 years old, they make £1,000 per day. Certain men out here, hard grinders. They'll work 30 days a month. So they're making 30 grand a month. What happens is they might go to jail, whatever, come out, start doing it again, whatever. And then they feel like they're roped and they're trapped into this cycle of selling drugs for a bit, making a lot of money, going to prison, coming out, starting again. It's revolving circle, you know. What ends up happening is they might get to the age of, I don't know, 30 years old and think, you know what, I need to change my life around, you know. I can't keep going in and out of prison. I might have 1 youth, 2 youths, whatever. I want to get a job. I want to jump on a positive thing. What happens is, because they were lazy and they didn't want to get educated when they were young, they didn't make no sacrifice. They have no skill, education, no trade. They have nothing that anyone outside wants to employ them for. They can't bring no value to the workplace. Now, I don't believe in being a worker forever. I believe in working for a little bit or whatever period amount of time and then doing your own thing. But they have no value to no workplace, so no one wants to employ them to pay them a decent salary. So what happens is they end up going and working as a postman, as a lorry driver, as a bus driver. Now, there's certain man work as a bus driver and they got their thing on the side. That's cool, innit? But think about it like this. Imagine being a postman or a lorry driver or whatever. Let's just assume they take home $1,300 a month. I mean, being a postman, you don't need, you know, Einstein's brain to be a postman. You just need to know your geographical skills need to be on point. You need to know where to go, innit? You have to post letters through people them door, innit? And not get your hand bite by the Rottweiler behind the door. They ain't got no real skills or nothing like that. So they're just gonna get paid, what, $1,300 a month? A month, you know. Remember, this is the same man who was making £1 grand a day. So the money that he's getting paid at the end of a month, he could have made that in 2 days, in a day and a bit, on the road. So what happens is, he looks around and he's thinking, fuck, I was driving this Mercedes, and I was only driving a Mercedes because obviously man wanted to keep it low key or whatever, and I could have been driving something bigger than a Mercedes. Right now I'm driving a fucking Toyota Prius. I can't buy the same clothes that I used to wear. Can't buy the same trainers that I used to wear. Balenciaga, all them things there. Can't do that no more. So what happens is, a man wants to relapse. Man goes back to the trap. Another thing is as well, certain man can't get out of the trap because they're roadmen. They used to having things their way. The only people that can tell them anything is the police. So you can't take a roadman and put him in a workplace and have some manager breathing down his neck, talking smack. Thinking I'm losing his job. That's why I was gonna end up losing my jobs. Because obviously I ain't going there with no roadman thing, but I ain't having no manager be disrespectful to me, because no one can be disrespectful to me on the road and get away with it. So why am I going to let an employer do it? That don't mean I get up and punch up everyone, but I'm going to say something. And obviously it's not a bad mentality to have, like, yeah, I'm not having no one disrespect me, but it is what it is. So you can't take a man who's been selling drugs, making 30 grand a month, because believe you me, it happens. I know people, you know, 30 grand a month. You know, he controls his time. He does what he wants. Put that same man in a working environment with someone that's telling you what to do, when to do it, when to take your breaks, and giving you a crap wage. That's why man end up going back to the trap. It's not an excuse. What their problem is, they have the similar problem to a lot of people out here who don't want to step out their comfort zone. I know man who have said to me, Jay, before I left the trap for good, I was scared, you know. How am I going to make the same amount of money that I'm making now? You are not going to make the same amount of money in a short space of time as you was when you was in the trap legitly. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen right away. But no one wants to make sacrifice. Nah. Laziness. Can't be bothered. You may have to go back to college. Get a skill or a trade. Or get an education, then further it at university. Go and work for someone for 6 years. And then start your own business. Take some risk. But these men don't want to do it because they're lazy. And they're scared. So then what happens? They work this shit job, Royal Mail, whatever, 1300, and then they think to themselves, 1300 after a month of bullshit. When I was making this in a day and a bit, during my time, no boss breathing down man's neck. And then they end up relapsing. And that's why they end up back in jail, or dead, or their shit job, which they end up relapsing. And then they end up, you know, potentially in jail or dead. Laziness. Don't want to make no sacrifice. So if you're a drug dealer right now, if you don't want to end up dead, or in prison, or with a shit job, you have to stop selling drugs right now and invest your time into an education or a business. But you're going to have to make some sacrifice. Remember, in the business thing, up and down, up and down, up and down. There ain't no fast results. This ain't selling crack on the corner, yeah, where you get fast results. Yeah? You ain't going to see nothing for years. And that's their problem. That's many people's problem. Fuck the drug dealers now. Just people in general. Short-term thinking. That's what a drug dealer's problem is. They got short-term thinking. They want, yeah, money right now. They want results right now. They ain't willing to put in the hard grind. Again, this ain't just, this part here ain't just directed at drug dealers. This is normal people. They ain't willing to put in the hard grind and see no results for a prolonged period of time. Because they're lazy. They don't know about sacrifice. They don't know about taking risks in that aspect. You know, taking risks ain't just fucking, you know, selling drugs on the corner and risking your freedom. Taking risk is, you know, investing your time for no results. Lazy, it's cowardly. So you're watching this right now, you think, oh, I ain't a drug dealer or whatever, innit? No. This video can still apply to you. Start taking risks. Make sacrifice. Don't expect quick results. Have a long-term strategy. Or think long-term. And that's drug dealers' problem. They want instant results. And that's why I end up relapsing in that. So, yeah, obviously I can understand why man end up relapsing and shit like that. It's not an excuse, but that's basically why. Man ain't got no skill, no education. He's invaluable to the workplace, to the world at that particular time. And I stress at that particular time because you all can always change your life around. So they end up selling drugs, making $1,000 a day or whatever, maybe less, but it's easy. Then get a job with a boss that's an asshole or whatever, making 1,300. Thinking, I could have made this in 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, but you know, it's much easier. That's why they end up relapsing and that. So if you want to get out of the trap and live a longer life, you have to stop doing what you're doing right now. Go back to school, college, uni, get an education, skill, trade, whatever. And don't expect no results overnight. Stay wise.